Hello and welcome to Formula One 2022. Now, I am Mr. Carroll, and today we're going to play the British Grand Prix Silverstone. I'm just going to, oh, I don't want to add a track in there, my bad. We're going to advance, we're going to pick, I think we're going to be Ferrari. Let's pick Carlos Sainz. I'm just going to pick the structure of the weekend. Standard, authentic, sprint and race. Offers format feature practice race if enabled, qualifying if enabled race. So I think we're just going to get a short race, which is a 5-lap race. I'm going to play this short style today, and then we'll obviously see how that goes. If I get enough views from this, maybe we'll do a full weekend, see how that goes. I think this is just going to be a 5-lap race. Obviously, that's quite short, but you'll get the gist. Like I said, I really like this game. I think graphically, the graphics on this game are really good. I'm playing it on the PC, but I mean it's very good for the PC. Um, the accent of the UK changes noticeably every 25 miles. There you go. So fun fact for you there. I like the fact that they put them in there. So we're going to be starting. I don't know where we're starting on the grid. We're starting 6th on the grid. Okay, fair enough. And off we go. So yeah, this is just a straight 5-lap race. Like I say, if this gets enough views and people like it, then perhaps we can do a longer race, but maybe a sprint in there. See how we go. Oh, I crashed in the back of someone. Jeez, trying to be aggressive, Forza style, where it doesn't matter if you crash into people, which on Formula One you will get penalised. I mean, as you do on those games as well, to be fair, but you obviously turn them down difficulty level and etc. etc. does make the difference with that. Now, I have got this on casual, so I'm sure I probably will do better than I perhaps should. But obviously, I've only played this, I think I've had 3 races on this now. I've done okay, but I'm certainly not ready to put myself on a higher difficulty level. Now, one thing I really like about this game, barring the graphics, which I've already mentioned, is the controls. I mean, it's about as pick up as play as you can get, to be completely honest. I mean, it really is, your standard racing game. Right trigger for accelerate, brake is left trigger, and then the steering is obviously the left joystick. Now I've gone off there crazily, but generally, that if anything, that's the only noticeable difference between many racing games is that there is quite a lot of play with the steering, which is what you'd expect from a Formula One car, perhaps. It's not very stiff to the road. There's a lot of play, which I mean is both good and difficult at the same time. It'd be pretty annoying if you played very long race and then crashed off. But I mean, that's realistic, really, isn't it? As annoying as, oh God, crashed in there, as annoying as that would be, that is what would happen in real life. One thing I will say, I don't know if it's just because of the cut corner, I'm going to get penalised for cutting corners there. I don't know if it's just because the difficulty level, but the not very noticeable damage. Spit my words out there on the cars. So I'm doing 4th. I'm pretty steady 4th at the second as well. I haven't got a good chance of maybe overtaking some people, but it's very hard to not be overly aggressive. Like that was pretty aggressive from me there, and that did work to be fair. I'm up to 3rd. Dear, crashed straight into me, but like I say, just took it. Didn't really matter for him. Let's try and take a space hit. I think I've got him that time, but then I've got to go back in. I like the overtaking. You can overtake some, but then they're going to fight back. I do like that AI. They don't just accept that they've given up the position. They do fight you back for it, which is nice. You wouldn't want to easily take the place and just, not have to worry about them coming back at you. So I do like that. That's good. So I'm up to 3rd. My teammate is just ahead of me. You do get penalised for cutting corners and so forth. Let's see, I'm exceeding the track limits there. I'm a bit erratic with my driving a little bit, which is not ideal. But what can you do? Sometimes it's fun to have, flirt with danger. One thing I have noticed, if you do go off and you get reassigned to the road, sometimes you end up being further forward than you started, which I mean, or you ended as you went off the road, which I would say is a bit of a complaint potentially for something that, we might even see that now. I'm going to get reset assigned to the road. So at second I'm 6th. Let's see where it puts me out. So it's put me back third. So you can, and I got the fastest lap. I mean, that's a little weird. In it, if any of the criticism of the game, that would be that I was clearly sick, probably going to be late. It should have been, like 10, 15th in that period of time, really, once I got back on the track. But because the way the game was designed there, it put me up to third, which isn't particularly realistic. And also, kind of, almost you can kind of cheat yourself. It's almost like whereas this game doesn't have rewinds like Forza and so forth, it effectively is a rewind in itself. That element really, because although I didn't rewind myself back in time to put myself in a better position, I was put back in a better position. So there wasn't really, my mistake wasn't really treated as a mistake almost in that situation, which is an interesting way that the good designers have or the developers have chosen to develop that element. I'm sure you can probably turn it off or make it more stringent, but certainly by default, that mode is a little bit over nice, or you know benefits the person really, because at the end of the day, if you've crashed off, you'd have thought you'd be punished for it, but not in this case. Should certainly lowers the difficulty level a little bit. Like I said, I don't know whether, maybe people can comment below if at higher difficulty level, whether that mode is still in play. I say certainly on casual it is. I'm really trying to take my teammate without, and also flirt with danger of potentially crashing off the course, which is a fun element there. I think I somehow didn't take him out. I mean, you would definitely get in trouble if you did that in real life with your teammate. Potentially take both people out. But certainly on the game, why not, hey? I don't know if there's an element of you need to help your team if you play in the career, because if you did, you probably wouldn't have done that. I don't think he definitely suffered from my rash move there, because he's now down to third and he was second. And I've got a massive gap in between me and second, so I've stand a good chance of winning. I haven't won one yet, even on casual, which I mean maybe says a bit about my skill level. I mean, like I say, although I have had that element of being thrusted further forward when I've crashed off, I have crashed off a few times. I think I get a bit cocky as I go on and forget that not only am I not untouchable, but also I am not very skilled on this game. Generally, racing games I'm a bit hit and miss on, to be honest. Some of them I really love. I love the original Forzas. Don't like Horizon particularly. I find that concept a bit arcadey. Gran Turismo, I've not really had many involvements with. Looks a really good game, but I don't own a PlayStation, so I haven't really ever owned Gran Turismo games, so I'm not really sure about those. But certainly Forza is the game I would compare this with. Well, not compare it with in terms of its audience or even the way it's presented, but certainly in its ability, the way it gameplay or the way it controls is about the closest comparison I would say, which some people will disagree with, I am sure, but it's at the end of the day, that's opinions. I like the fact that EA have taken on the licensing for it. I think that's a good move. I think it will over time benefit. I mean, EA games, they have many sort of like disadvantages, if you like. I mean, FIFA, for example, is a great game, but flirts too much with microtransactions now, in my opinion. But nevertheless, they do produce good games, and they're consistent as well, which is what you want with a racing game. I think for many years, I don't know, I don't talk from first hand, but certainly observing from a distance, Codemaster, I know they are still the game studio. However, they're not the publisher anymore. I think we're very close to the end. Obviously, I'm maybe talking out my arse there. People can correct me. I don't look into these things necessarily as much as I perhaps should do when I'm talking about them. Maybe that's a fault of mine. But I know that Codemaster are definitely linked up with EA now. Hence, but I'm actually playing the trial of this rather than owning it. I was really I could purchase it depending on views. If people want to see more videos on Formula One, then I will happily purchase the game. If not, then I mean, as much as I enjoy playing it, I'd rather make and play other games. But we'll see. If there's enough views, then definitely I will spend more time. Maybe do a bit of career mode. That would be nice, potentially. We stand a very good chance of winning this if we don't crash off or do something crazy or get exceeded track limits or something that would screw us over there. Haven't won one yet, so this will be nice. Yes, we have crossed the checkered line. I've unlocked an achievement. Happy days. And I came first. Let's just see where that goes. We're going to get a nice clip at the end. We'll just watch that before we move on. Doodaloo. There we go. Here we go. We're just going to see the nice clip of me coming on before we end the video where we are. Right, yay. Podium. Happy days. Get the trophy. Right, I'm going to end this video now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like. Obviously, if we get enough views, like I say, I will revisit this and maybe play more in the future. Thank you very much. Goodbye.